on. PK, but the legs,
Oh baby, you know exactly what it is. This is BK Reloaded, your favorite DJ next door, introducing the almost famous and the already made it. You know I'm bringing that spice, baby. You know what it is what I think today. Ain't nothing more fresher, ain't nothing more literary, ain't nothing more dramaturgy, ain't nothing more lecturery. Like it's you know, like I don't know. There's so much spice to this human being and its multifaceted nature, and we're about to also unpack the human complexities into their journey of where they are right now, what they are planning, and how can you keep up and catch hold of their movements and where are they Spotifying, because this is exactly what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. You know, thank you also for introducing me so well, Joyce. You did the right things, and I do trust you to give an opportunity for art to enter the space of musicians so that it's a home of artistry. So, ladies and gentlemen, please keep rocking because you know who we have here today. Okay. Just, I don't know. It rhymes with Charlie Chaplin. It rhymes with Debo. I don't know. Do you know who this is? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give you Mr. Doctor. You see, there's so many titles to this human being. They even like have PhD right now. You know, I'm just jamming it out and taking this time so that you understand the importance of what's happening today, because we didn't think it was going to happen, but within the tapestry of the universe, they made this moment happen, and we're just going to indulge and give you more and more that's about to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. You know, like,
can you please turn around?
I'm that one DJ that... That one DJ. Yeah, baby. We're always rolling. That's exactly what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm presenting and giving to you. Let's hold up on that music a little bit. You know exactly who that was, but let me bring it here a little bit closer. Okay. We have in studio Mr. Dr. Katlego Chale. Oh, baby, it's about to get lit. Oh my goodness. How are you, sir? How are you feeling?
I'm blessed, sir. I'm blessed. I feel amazing. Tired, yeah, you know, with all the things that have been happening, but yeah, it feels like it's a season of good things happening.
It really does feel like it's a season of good things on both counterparts of us sitting here right now.
Sure.
But most importantly, this is about you and looking at the work that you're accomplishing. I mean, I need to start with your recent work prior to us delving into other complexities.
Sure.
But like, no ways. Piano lesson. Come on, my guy. I mean, we're always sitting looking at your writing work because you're some human being actually. And we're looking at your writing, and that's where our main focus has been, and what you're educating, because you're also quite an academic.
Yeah.
But now it's getting into a space whereby we get to experience you on stage on a prominent show at the Joga Theatre to open up the year.
Yeah.
And you know an idea what is rocking up next year because there's something fact.
I'll
So
take your word for it, brother.
tell us, how has that experience been for you? You can go personally, you can go media, publicly.
Yeah.
Please.
It's been incredible, man. Like, I mean, we met at TUT, right?
Yes.
All those years ago, and you know, when you're in drama school, it's like you get to do a lot of productions. Like you get a season where like you're doing maybe 3 or 4 productions at the same time, and you're hoping that when you leave the space, this is what your life is going to look like.
So true.
You know, but when you get out there, you realize that okay, this thing can be generous to some people, but not as generous to other people. You know, some people will have to do other kinds of work until they can do this work. Some people will have to leave it completely. And you know, I've found myself in 2 positions that are like, okay, am I gonna have to choose to just do maybe academia for the rest of my life because it provides the kind of stability that I need and is kind of nourishing, and it gives me access to the work in a different kind of way?
Sure.
Or am I gonna get to like do what I was doing at the Rostrum and the Brady and all of those theaters at TET, you know? And I was so lucky to work in 2022 with Ubabu James Ngcobo in The Brother Size. And that was the first time that we worked together. It was also an American show written by Terrell Alvin McCraney. He's the guy who wrote Moonlight. And he got the Oscar for Moonlight. So he's also a really prominent playwright. And that production then was the beginning of our working relationship. And so when he wanted to do Piano Lesson, last year already he hit me up and he was like, listen, I have something that's coming up. Can you make it so that you're available?
Oh.
And so because it was enough time well in advance, I was able to just talk to my colleagues at UWC and be like, please, can I have this reprieve so that I can do this work? That for me is like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna suffocate,
Yes.
And everybody was very supportive. All my colleagues were like, okay, how can we help you? How can we provide the infrastructure? And then, we started rehearsing on the 27th of January. And the cast is people that I've been watching and people who have been inspiring me for the longest of time. It feels incredible to be working with Lerato Mvelase, who plays Bernice, my sister in the show, to be working with Vaneshra Narumugam, who plays my uncle. He's done like Streaks, Suburban Bliss, like all of these shows that we grew up on. Waran Masamola, I told him from the first day in rehearsal that like, I remember watching Number for the first time, and when you and G8 meet and they have that exchange, and it's just 30 seconds, but like when I saw that, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do, man. Pagamisa Zwetal, I saw him for the first time in a movie called Hard to Get with Palans Glata and Tishiwe Zikuru, and he was just like this villain that like I hadn't seen anything like that before. And now to be entering into the rehearsal room on day one and you look around you and you're sitting next to these people who have been influencing how you feel about the craft.
Definitely.
It felt like a moment of like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like it felt like one of those moments where you're going to look back and realize that, oh no, that was your life, that was happening to you. You weren't like looking at somebody else experiencing that. That was your experience in real time. And even right now, I don't know how to receive it or what to do with that feeling. It's overwhelming because the show has also been well received, and a lot of people have been coming up after the show and saying how much they love the work that we were doing, and it's very overwhelming, man.
I mean,
I'm overwhelmed.
Thank you for that honesty.
Sure.
A lot of people don't want to say that I'm overwhelmed at the moment because a lot is happening. And you are feeding the audience different types of you, and they're appreciating the work that you're giving them.
Sure.
And also you, as you said from TET, you're just a human being who's always taking their craft that seriously. And prior to even getting that experience with the Brother's Son.
The Brother's Size.
The Brother's Size. I believe you also did something for Martin Luther King.
Yes, we did. You've read up on my yes. In the year after Brother's Size, so James was the artistic director at the Market Theatre. And then in 2023, I believe he moved to the Joburg Theatre.
Yes.
And we did two things. We did the 60th year celebration of the Joburg Theatre, and I did a monologue there. And then before they had Fences, you remember Fences was on at the Joburg Theatre?
Yes.
We did, that was for Black History Month in February and March. So we kind of kicked off the season with Martin Luther King's birthday, which is on the 15th of January. So basically we had a little program, and that was also really well received. And yeah, man, I'm really lucky. Like whatever James sees, in me is like, I'm really grateful to it because I've always felt, we were talking before the interview about sometimes feeling like a little bit of an outcast or feeling different in every room that you enter into. So I've never been somebody who liked the idea of like auditions.
Okay.
Like I've always, because I never do well. I don't do well in them.
Auditions,
and I was lucky that James has often, after he had seen the work that I can do, because he saw Return of the Ancestors, which we did at the Market Theatre in 2020, and then COVID stopped us. But in those 4 days, he was able to see that. And then I worked on an industrial theatre project that he was also in. And from there, that's where our working relationship kind of began. And I love that because it's much more organic. You saw me doing a full range of the work. You didn't see me in like 15 minutes trying to impress you, with this thing that I've been preparing overnight.
That one monologue.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love being in spaces where things feel like they're happening organically. Yeah.
And that's a privilege.
Yeah.
That's a privilege. Not a lot of people get to be witnessed with them in their process.
Yeah.
It's not like they got you trying to do a self-tape, sending it through, or a casting. You know what I mean?
If they did, I probably wouldn't be where I am.
Never. They found you in your element when you were working your fullest potential.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not okay, there's no bribes here. I just had to inform all the listeners who kind of shady. And I'm telling you, this man is a hard worker as he is because he's gifted like that, okay? And also, let's speak about also naturally, I think this is because I don't believe that you just even did the Martin Luther King show just because you're just so intrigued by American studies. But I believe you are just a person who's intrigued by the Black story and even its integration of cultural context.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So please, where does that insight from?
I think probably my mind just went back to my father and my mom had bookshelves in the house.
Okay.
And they weren't like you have to read all the time or whatever. But I think they just occupied the bookshelves with things that were interesting to them. And so I read Steve Biko for the first time from those shelves.
I write what I like.
I write what I like. I read the work of Albert Luthuli, Chris Hani, and I think those books started implanting curiosity for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, also, I mean, I was born in Mamelodi. I grew up in Pretoria, so I'm very familiar with how racial dynamics can play out, in the South African landscape.
Yes.
So, I mean, I was already having questions about like, oh, what does it mean to be a Black person from Bokasi? I went to primary school, Koloreto, so I'm traveling half an hour, 45 minutes to go from Bokasi to go to, the town to go to school, and then afterwards I'm going back. And it's
also,
like,
that was your experience as well.
Absolutely. When you get there, there's, you meet people of different levels in life, and you realize just how vast this whole experience can be. And then you realize that, oh, okay, some things actually can happen differently because of the color of my skin. And so that curiosity has never left me really, because I think it's something that we haven't had in South Africa an opportunity to really dissect and discuss. I think in 1994 there was so many things happening at the same time. There was pressure because of the the IFP ANC wars that were happening.
Yes.
The apartheid government is losing its power. There's the economic base is being shifted. They're trying to find a way to make something new happen. Chris Hani gets assassinated, and then there's like an urgency to move things forward. And I think in that kind of frantic energy, you can lose the opportunity to sit down with some of the nuances that we are facing today. So one of my favorite stories is the story of Thomas Sankara. And he was basically he became the president of Burkina Faso in 1983, I think, until 1987 when he was assassinated by the person who helped him come into power. And the reason why he's such an amazing figure for me is that when he came into power, he decided that we need to reimagine our identity. So Burkina Faso used to be called Upper Volta, and it was a French colony at the time. He then came into power and he decided that we need to come up with a new identity. And they come up with this new name.